Ali, and then start.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Thank you for being here for the trial of Mr. P.M. Games. Mr. Games is facing a serious charge of undermining the noble profession of project management by training aspiring project managers using techniques associated with leisure or gaming activities rather than with serious career tasks. If convicted, Mr. Games will be directed to refrain from interfering with proper educational methods such as lectures, reading assignments, and homework assignments. Representing Mr. Games is Mr. AgileBill Krebs. Counselor, how does your client plead to this charge?
My client would like to enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court reporter, please note that the accused here in the courtroom and has entered a plea of not guilty. Representing the citizens of the state of project management is Ms. Jacky Hood. Ms. Hood, is the state prepared to proceed? If so, please make your opening statement to the jury at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, the state is ready, and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the accused, Mr. P.M. Games, is definitely undermining the very important field of educating project managers who will be delivering important projects ranging from the development of software and consumer electronics all the way up to really major projects like the Olympics, the space program, enormous construction projects like highways and reservoirs. And these things, human life depends on these projects, and here we have an educator, Mr. Games, who's encouraging other educators to teach project management using a very trivial methodology. We will show that this is an inefficient and inexcusable way to teach project management, or indeed any subject.
Is that it, Mr. Hood?
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Judge.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hood. Mr. Krebs, please make your opening statement. Mr. Krebs.
Very good. Thank you for hearing our, yes, very good. Thank you for hearing our statement. We would like to assert that gamification is common in industry and education. We would further assert that it's been used specifically for project management education. We feel in some cases it has even achieved excellent results. So we feel that they are using due diligence to provide education and training for any subject, but especially business and project management, though light the format, serious the results. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Krebs. Ms. Hood, do you have any exhibits to present?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Just give me a moment and I will pull them up for you.
Yeah, please show them to the jury.
So I have two exhibits, both on this same presentation. They are both academic papers that illustrate that the academic world does not consider games to be very important and actually extremely unimportant. The first is a paper, an academic paper with 32 references generated by Ted Drummond of North Seattle Community College and republished by the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Out of more than 6,000 words in this academic paper, games appears only 3 times, and that is in a minor subset of one of the 12 major teaching practices. Games are certainly not one of the major teaching practices. They're a tiny subset of one of the teaching practices. And I have included the website for people who are interested in more details on this paper. The second paper, and that particular one, was about best teaching practices. The next one is about active learning, and I'm sure that Mr. Krebs and his client will say that games are an active teaching practice, and that is a more modern way to teach. But out of 29 methods of active teaching and active learning, games falls as the dead last, number 29, and the authors actually somewhat apologized for putting games in at all. So as you can see, games are not considered an important part of education of any kind, and also of particularly project management education.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hood, for the expert exhibits. Do you have any witnesses?
Yes, I would like to call Ms. Pat Furagganan. She is the Vice President of Product Development at Mega Mountain Industries.
Okay, Ms. Furagganan, please take the stand.
So, Ms. Furagganan, how does your company select project managers?
Our company relies primarily on referrals from our executives. We insist that they have a good education and proper training in project management.
And how do you define proper training in project management?
Proper training would be hours of lecture by somebody like me, who came up through the ranks. Training would include reading books on project management, such as the one I wrote. It would not include things like games. Project management learners would write long essays on project management and work many complex projects associated with it.
So would games play a part in project management learning?
I'm glad you used the word play in your question, Ms. Hood. I am totally opposed to any form of play in training or on the job. When I was promoted to VP, I removed all the games and emphasized that we work all day to make money for our company, and we don't have money to spend on things like games that don't make us productive.
Thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
Thank you, Ms. Hood. Mr. Krebs, you may cross-examine this witness.
There we go. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Please do so.
Very good. Thank you. How about the words par for the course? Is that used in your company?
Some people use it.
Mm-hmm. I would assert that sports may be more popular in some corporate cultures, and I bet you would relate to that more, and in fact use that in your daily work with terms like par for the course, hit a home run, go the whole 9 yards. Would you consider sports a game?
Sports are games, but baseball and golf are more appropriate to business people than, for example, Angry Birds, or wondering what color your avatar's hair is going to be when you play Second Life.
Very good. Thank you. I have a copy here of your textbook, Project Management Pathway. On page 337, you write the following: an opening gambit in negotiations with the supplier, etc. Are you aware that opening gambit comes from the game of chess?
No, wasn't aware of it.
Thank you. Your Honor, I have no more questions for this witness.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Furagganan. You may step down. Ms. Hood, do you have any additional witnesses?
No, Your Honor. The prosecution rests its case with the exception of a closing statement to the jury later.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Hood. I have noticed that some of the members of the jury are not paying attention. Some even appear to be playing games on their handheld devices. Anyone doing so will be removed from the jury. Please be warned.
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Krebs.
Your Honor, I motion that the members of the jury who are not paying attention, who are playing games, be held in contempt of court.
Your
Duly
Honor,
noted.
I do not think that's necessary. I believe your warning was sufficient.
That's right. The first attempt is to the warning, and after that, if I find somebody not paying attention, then we will take the necessary action.
Very good. I see the point, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Krebs. Do you have any exhibits to present at this stage?
Yes, Your Honor. There are 4.
Sure, go ahead.
I'd like to submit Exhibit 1 for your consideration. Is this a game or a simulation? What is the difference between a game, a simulation, and a point and leader system? This exhibit showing pizza is from a training workshop on Kanban, which is a style of project management. I'd like to proceed to the next exhibit, please.
Sure. Next exhibit, please.
Exhibit 2 shows cards. Cards traditionally are used for games, but in this case, we use them for planning poker, a form of estimating used in the Agile style of project management. Those cards from planning poker have helped the technique spread to many thousands of project managers and team members. I believe they have been widespread and successful in their teaching result. The other set of cards is from a technique literally called innovation games, which are used by the city of San Jose to do some of their budgeting. They look like cards. They may be fun, but they deliver results. Thank you. Next slide, next exhibit. Exhibit 3 shows the use of Legos in training in project management, where students need to listen to customer requirements and listen to changes in scope. I'm ready for the next exhibit. Finally, Exhibit 4 shows a tool designed to do the Scrum style of project management, yet awards participants with badges, perks, leaderboards. They use a concept of gamification. There's no game in the sense of win-lose. You're not playing a fun metaphor. It's not even a simulation. This is more gamification, which uses badges to motivate both learning and productive work. Those are my 4 exhibits. Now,
Good. Thank you, Mr. Krebs. You may now call your witness.
Very good. I would like to call Ms. Roxana Rohde for the defense.
Ms. Rohde, are you here?
Yes.
Yeah, please take the stand. Mr. Krebs, proceed with your witness.
Very good. Ms. Rohde, you have been a quality assurance engineer for many years, and you are now studying to become a project manager. What training are you undergoing?
That is correct. I'm taking the final 2 courses for my project management certificate from San Jose State University. One of the courses is an in-person course and is about risk management, a topic that I'm very interested in. The other course is an online course on procurement management, a topic, let's say, that I'm not so really interested in.
Excellent. Thank you. So you find the risk management course, is that interesting or not?
Unfortunately, no. It is taught by Professor Jones. He lectures endlessly, and all of the people in the class struggle to stay awake. The reading and homework assignments are long, difficult, and very boring.
And the procurement course?
It's a blast. I'm sorry. I mean, Professor Sims has organized the class into teams. Each team is constructing a procurement game, and we are playing the games constructed by the other teams. I'm learning as much from the other participants as from the course material.
Thank you, Ms. Rohde. Your Honor, I have no more questions for this witness. The defense rests its case except for a closing statement that I will make later.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Krebs. Ms. Hood, you may cross-examine this witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Rohde, are you learning from the types of games that teenage boys play?
That's possible. We are building and learning from many types of games.
Ms. Rohde, you stated that you are learning as much from the other participants in your game playing class as from the professor. Does this mean that the professor is lacking in knowledge of the subject?
No, ma'am.
In this game playing, are you learning typical video game skills like thumb dexterity and accuracy with weapons?
No, ma'am. Our team was assigned to build a game for vendor selection. The other two teams were assigned to build games that teach vendor management and inter-vendor communication. We are learning to define the project, we are creating a work breakdown structure, we are creating a schedule, and much more.
So your teams are just making it up as you go along, not learning how experts approach these topics?
No, ma'am. Each team member does research on expert approaches, and then we decide together which approach to use.
I see. Your Honor, I have no more questions for this witness.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Hood. Ms. Hood, you may make your closing statements now.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please think about the services and products you rely on every day. Telecommunications, 911 emergency services, water and energy supplies coming to your office and home, highways, bridges, hospitals, office buildings, your own automobile. Do you really want these projects to create these services and products to have been done by project managers who learned their trade playing games? In games, people who are injured or killed pop back to health instantly, like children's cartoons. This doesn't happen in real life. In real life, we have to take safety and health very seriously. So for the sake of you and your families, please put an end to training project managers in this childish way. Your Honor, the prosecution rests its case.
Thank you, Ms. Hood. Mr. Krebs, you may make your closing statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the jury, I would like to express that games have been used, in fact, in project management training specifically. While one could argue, do they work? Are they appropriate for everyone? I think we've shown evidence that they have been used often and with enough results that people continue to use these techniques. In fact, an open course on gamification had 80,000 students attend. Dr. Kevin Verbach's course on Coursera. He gave the course again and had 50,000 attend. So I believe the interest is common. The results are good. In fact, there's a whole conference on Agile games. Many people who have taken courses in Agile project management have done simulations or games of some sort, and even in their work, they use games such as planning poker to do their work better. It's not just a question of, is the game fun to play? Because there's several categories. It could be a simulation. It could be a fun-to-play game. It could be a game with rules, winners and losers. Or it could be a structure to advance based on points, a leaderboard. Those are all different concepts. Depending on your culture and your style, you may choose one or the other or none of those. However, the matter at hand for my client, Mr. Games, is did he commit an offense, a tort, an injury? Is he in breach of the law? Is he in breach of judgment? Is he liable? The defense argues that no, not only are games common, but they're effective. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, jury.
Thank you, Mr. Krebs. We will now depart from our normal court proceedings or procedures and allow the members of the jury to ask questions of the two attorneys, the two witnesses, and me. Please type your questions in the chat and specify who you would like to answer. So please, I'm watching the chat window at the bottom of the GoToMeeting page here on your screen.
Your Honor, I would like to mention that there's a woman on the jury who has a microphone, so she could speak aloud.
Sure, go ahead, please.
Ms.
Yes.
Dolores Pregnance, perhaps you have a question for Mr. Krebs or me or one of the witnesses or the judge. Your Honor, I think Mr. Krebs is out of line here offering the jury lunch if they he quit his client.
Mr. Krebs, you are out of order.
Oh, I meant to slip that note to the bailiff. I'm sorry. Did you see that?
Yes, I can see it. Everybody can see it.
Oh no. I'll be just.
You'll be held contempt of court if you do it anymore.
So, Your Honor, I would like to mention that we did have a jury member who had to step out, Ms. Jen. She has asked if she will be able to review the trial proceedings later, and I mentioned that this trial is being recorded and there will be a link sent to all the jury late this evening.
So do I take that nobody has any questions from the jury?
Looks like that's the case, Your Honor.
Is the jury ready to vote? So it is time for the jury to make a decision. If you find the defendant guilty, then you write down guilty in the window, and if you do not find him guilty of the teaching practices that he has innovated, then indicate not guilty. So please go ahead and type your guilty or not guilty with your name as beside it, please. Not guilty. Bailiff, did you count how many are no's and how many are yes?
The bailiff is holding up 4 fingers, Your Honor.
So 4 are not guilty. Any guilty? Any for the prosecution? Nobody? Well, I hereby declare that Mr. P. Games is released honorably, and his method of teaching through games is not held as a crime. And I remind the jury that the next webinar will be in September, so please join us at that time. You also have the proceedings of this case available as a record, so you can review it again or listen to it again. Thank you very much. Any other questions or any other comments, please?
Your Honor, I'd just like to mention that for the people living in the San Francisco and San Jose Bay Area, this organization will be sponsoring an in-person event in August, the 3rd week of August. And
I highly recommend. And can you give a little bit more
Hi,
details
Jack.
on that?
So Ms. Furagganan, our star witness for the prosecution, and Ms. Jane Yee, who could not be here, are organizing this event. So Ms. Furagganan, could you maybe say a little bit about the type of events we have, live events we have?
So in general, what we do is we will get together somewhere. Last time we were at Specialties Cafe in Sunnyvale, and we talk about topics that are of interest to other project managers.
Is there anything else, or should I thank you, all the participants in this trial, and look forward to seeing them again at the next case?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you.